What is up, everybody out there? Welcome to another Let's Talk. And I know we haven't done this in a while, but this is our Let's Talk versus mode. And in versus mode, me and my good buddy Andre, the game idea guy.
Hello, everyone. I know, I sound kind of but don't worry. I just had a bad week. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in this, we take two characters and put them against each other and tell people, give people reasons why they would win, why they would lose, a little background on the character, things of that nature. So you get the gist of the idea of what we do. We haven't done one of these in a while. And so this one came across because Andre, you tried to explain to somebody on Twitter
No, it
why
was it was
this situation
plus.
is a bad one.
Look, either way, it was a bad choice to get myself involved in the conversation. But I'll give a little bit of history on it. First of all, the conversation really didn't have anything to do with Wolverine. Wasn't originally in the conversation at first, but there. If anybody's ever seen Doki Doki Literature Club, that game, like it's interesting and weird, but I that's about as far as I'm going with that. Okay, the character Monica in the game literally controls the world around her and can manipulate things. And I was trying to explain to an idiot that she's not human, that she's a computer program and AI that went rogue and took over her world, but obviously he wasn't listening and just kept kind of saying everybody else on the list would beat her because reasons and not thinking about, hey, this character controls the world around them. If they could do it to another world, they could potentially kill any and every threat. But whatever. They say, oh, this just because she's hacks doesn't mean she's going to win. But like, you're a dumbass. You just don't know how to pay attention. But that's just me trying to be nice and not say all that. But I said it anyway. Still, but we got to a point where we're talking about other characters, and he mentioned Deadpool and then Wolverine, and he talked about Deadpool only having his healing factor. And I was like, you do realize that he has literally he can break the fourth wall. He has a fourth dimensional sense. Then we got down to Wolverine and Ryu, which is why this is happening. And he claimed that Wolverine and Ryu are quote unquote wall level characters. And I'm like, somebody has either not taught you about these characters or you're acting like you know something about them and don't. But and then the first thing he said, well, either one could win. I was like, no, there's a specific winner, which we'll get to at the end of this. Like, but you obviously don't know enough about these characters to actually say anything. Like, so I determined either dude was a troll or he's just actually blatantly ignorant about the characters and wouldn't admit it. It's one of the two.
Yeah. So just for reference sake, what I'm going to do is place because I will be taking the Wolverine side of this discussion,
Mhm.
and I will be
Yeah.
posting a link to the Marvel.com database. So if you guys want to read up on Wolverine's specific power set, and this is Logan, this isn't Laura, this is
Yeah,
Logan
Logan.
we're talking
I
about.
mean, either way, if you either one of those characters, the outcome is still the same.
Yeah,
But
but just to clarify, we're talking about Logan because in the comics, even though Logan is coming back, if you're up to date on the comics, in the
yeah,
comics at this moment right now, the Wolverine is Laura Kinney, but
yeah.
we're talking about Jim Howlett Logan. Okay, that's who I'm talking about. All right, so the floor is yours for a little background on Ryu and reasons why Ryu would win. Take it away.
Okay. Well, Ryu's been training in martial arts for all of his life in I guess you'd say, watered down version of an assassination technique. One that his master Goken took all of the killing techniques out, or I should say, lessened the potency of the killing techniques in order to, I guess, purify the fighting style. Which is why Goken himself, Ryu's master, learned a, I guess you could call it a technique called the fist of nothingness, the way of nothingness. One of the two. I'm not going to try to sit here and translate everything, but Ryu, being a fighting prodigy, I guess you could say, because he learned and adapted very quickly, him and Ken, but we're not worried about Ken at this point in time. um, Ryu's a lifelong trained martial artist. He's very skilled. He knows how to analyze his opponents and break down their weaknesses in a very efficient manner. But and this is stuff that is determined and shown in the video games as well as the comics. But you don't really want to consider the comics because that's not his source material. The games are. But either way, and Ryu also can tap into this fist of nothingness. He can tap into that power. He's been shown to be able to do it. He also can tap into the murderous Hado, which is like if anybody's played Street Fighter, the techniques, the version of Akuma's techniques, or the version of the techniques that they use that Akuma uses, that's the murderous form of the true form of their moves, in its original state, because he actually wanted to fight in that form with its purest, well, not purest, but in this original sense, he wanted to use the fighting style the way it originally was. And Ryu can tap into that power. He's been shown to be able to tap into both sides of the equation. So I guess you could say he's capable of doing damage either way. Now, granted, Ryu is a very capable fighter. And his regular abilities go, like, whereas again he's highly skilled, he's agile, he's strong as hell. Like he can charge up a Hadoken and basically blow a hole in a mountain. So he's pretty powerful for a human being, an unmutated human being, I should say. And that's just him regularly. With the Fist of Nothingness or using the murderous Hado, he can actually increase his power output, his energy output, at least I'd say 3 or 4-fold. There's never really given a specific number, but usually when they represent it in like movies or in the games, it's a huge increase in his power. Getting all of that out the way, the Fist of Nothingness in this situation, because of Wolverine's healing factor, would basically be a wash. I mean, yeah, once Ryu steps up and he has that power going for him, he'd do more damage to Wolverine, but he's not likely to beat him with that particular form. So we'd have to go to his Dark Hado, Murderous Hado, whatever you want to call it. We'd have to go to that, because that's where he has the killing techniques, and the one specifically, the Raging Demon. It kills it basically. Once it hits you, it murders you. It erases your soul. That's how it kills people. At least that's how it's been explained. I mean, Capcom could always change it, like they changed Goken from being dead to just being in a coma.
I hate when they did that.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense, but whatever. He was in a coma, buried in a coffin. Okay, let's go with that. And he was gone for years, but okay, fine. We'll stick with that, Capcom. That's what you say. So, Ryu's only real hope would be if he was pushed to the limit and he was angry enough to go ahead and dive into his emotions and become like Akuma. Because again, the Raging Demon technique is his only hope of actually winning this fight. Okay, but that's it. That's it for me. Like I think I've talked enough about Ryu for now.
All right. So let's talk about everybody's favorite Canadian mutant. All right. So Wolverine got to start created by Lin Wayne. And I will say this about the character. He's probably the most recognized Marvel character. I know a lot of people talk about Cap, but most people know who the heck Wolverine is.
I'd say Spider-Man probably might be, but outside of Spider-Man, yeah, Wolverine would be next.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much he's Marvel. He's one of the icons of Marvel, basically. And his mutant ability, because he is a mutant. Now they have made some changes over the years to his background, because one of the cool things about Wolverine was for like at least 30 plus years, nobody knew his background because the government had pretty much erased his memory. And by erased, I mean they would remove parts of his brain and let his healing factor heal over. So he didn't know anything pretty much to the point. So that for the longest time, he didn't know what happened to him or who did it to him or anything like that. He just knows that he woke up in a tank and he broke out and he pretty much murdered everybody in there on his way out. Because when he did that, when the government took him, when the Weapon X program took him, if you watch the Fox live action movies, they did not do it right. But they actually did it right in the Fox animated series, the 90s Fox animated series, when they did 2 episodes that actually showed kind of what happened without him killing people. They replaced the people with the actual, with like cyborgs, but they basically kidnapped him, sent him on a bogus mission, kidnapped him, and experimented on him against his will. And once they finished the actual adamantium bonding process, which basically made his skeleton all metal, he woke up and broke out and pretty much went on a killing spree inside the actual facility. And because he was basically a feral animal, because once again, the way they were erasing his memory was they were removing that part of his brain and just letting his brain heal over, which basically he'd be like a newborn baby every time, clear memories or whatever. So talking about his abilities, Wolverine's abilities are enhanced endurance. He has a healing factor with enhanced agility and reflexes, heightened animal senses, and that's pretty much everything. The claws, for the longest time, the claws weren't mutant, but they changed that. I hate when they did that, but that's neither here nor there for this. The other thing about Wolverine is that he's been trained in a variety of martial arts, as well as he was one of the top killers, which is why they call him the best there is at what he does. He was one of the top killers in the Weapon X program. It was him, Sabretooth, and I think then Deadpool or Wade at the time, Wade Wilson. So he's basically, when he's off his hinges, he is basically the best killer to kill, period. He's what you send to go take care of when you have situations that need to be taken care of. They would send him. So if, let's say, for example, the military needed him to take out a dictator, they wouldn't send like SEAL Team 6, they'd send Logan. And he'd handle it. Because there's nothing that can kill him. You can't break his bones, and he comes back from everything. So he just kill everything. The reasons why he would win. Now, Ryu is a very accomplished fighter, but so is Logan. Logan is a very accomplished fighter as well. And the thing about it is, Wolverine himself, while he's trained in various martial arts, he's also a samurai, a full-fledged out samurai. But the X factor to all of this is the Berserker Rage. Unfortunately, some people think that the Berserker Rage actually enhances his strength. It really doesn't. What it does is it takes out his hesitation to kill, and that makes him faster because he doesn't care anymore. He's not trying to stop. He's just trying to kill and rip through whatever is in his path. Basically, his back is up against the wall, and he's going to rip a hole through whatever's in front of him. Or you try to kill him, and it didn't take, and you got to deal with the Berserker. Reasons why you know he's gone berserk. Usually his eyes are flipping in the back of his head. He'll get more. He'll basically become an actual beast or an animal. That's why they call him an animal when he does that. So that is why, in my opinion, Wolverine takes this one, because whatever damage Ryu can give to him, he can't do enough damage that will make his healing factor burn out or put him into a situation where he gets knocked out. Because there's only been like a couple characters that have actually knocked Wolverine out of a Berserker Rage once it's initiated. And that's Storm, Xavier, and Cannonball. They've knocked him out of an actual Berserker Rage when he has one going. So I don't see a way that Ryu, even with the Demon's Fist, because he still have to actually hit him, and Wolverine will not be hesitating because he'll just be an actual crazed killer at that point, and you still have to deal with those claws. So he has to deal with the claws and the fact that he can still he still knows enough to with his body, just with body through muscle memorization or whatever, to actually put up a decent fight. So that's why I'm saying Wolverine can win this. So, Mr. Andre, why would Ryu lose?
Well, obvious. Okay, obvious statements. Wolverine is better trained than Ryu, and he's been around for a longer period of time. He's had more time to develop his fighting sense. On top of that, he's a lot stronger than Ryu. He's faster than Ryu. He's more durable than Ryu. And on top of that, he has an antimanium skeleton. So if Ryu hits him, he's more likely going to hurt himself before he hurts Wolverine. Even if he charges up a Hadoken, that's not going to, again, it's not going to do much to him. You put a hole in him, it'll heal back up.
Yeah, that's how that works out for him.
Like it's not really going to go anywhere. And if anything, that would trigger a Berserker Rage, which would just screw him. Like no matter what version of Ryu we're talking about, he'd be screwed. Like whether it's him normal, Fist of Nothingness, which is again highly enhanced power, and he would be able to do some damage to Wolverine, or Dark Hado, like he again highly enhanced power, still be able to do some damage. But unless he gets that raging demon on Wolverine, and his chances of that are like 0.00001 to do that, because Wolverine's just that fast. Like he's just that fast with all of his capabilities. It's just not likely to happen.
Okay. And I will tell you why Wolverine can lose this. Wolverine can lose it for the very same reason you just mentioned, the demon fist. If Ryu can get one clean shot, if he can get one clean shot, and that's the thing, if he makes Wolverine go berserk, he's done. If Wolverine goes berserk, Ryu's dead.
Yeah, and that's more likely to happen than Ryu getting that clean shot off.
But if Wolverine don't go berserk or he doesn't do anything to actually put him in that state, there's a very good chance that Ryu can actually hit that move on him and shatter his soul. I don't know if he can come back from a soul. I don't know that.
I would assume not, because I mean that's the soul. It's not actually part of the body.
Yeah. So, but
I mean, you just have a body there that can be. You have a body there for Bison to steal.
Yeah, that's not the body you want Bison to steal. But that being said, to me, that's the one thing that can happen that can help Ryu win, because it's not 100% that Wolverine will go into Berserker Rage, because to get Wolverine into Berserker Rage, most times it has to be a kill shot, or it has to be like so much trauma done to him that he either he has some PTSD and flips back to something bad that happened to him that he starts to remember. Because one of the things I used to love that they did in the comics back in the 90s was they would show him like remember when he first got his mutant power when he got killed, and then he flip into a Berserker Rage. Like they do something like that to show him like flip when it was like a traumatic experience or something like that. Yeah. So, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Not him. So,
like there is also the possibility that Wolverine could underestimate him. But again, with as highly trained as he is, I don't think that's very likely.
No, like he'll probably underestimate the first 15 seconds.
Like he would underestimate him until he caught one of them shoryukens to the jaw.
Yeah,
and he got rocked real good. Then he was like, "Oh, hold up, let me shake that off real quick and let's do this." Yeah, and that would be the end of it.
that would really be the end of it. I mean, like I said, I like Ryu, but in all honesty, just because of how the character of Wolverine is, and we're talking about full power sets, we're not talking about taking nothing away from anybody.
No,
I don't see a way that Ryu wins this, because even if he does tap into that Satsui no Hado or whatever, if he makes Wolverine berserk, that match is over.
Like, and even the bad thing is, even if Wolverine doesn't go berserk and Ryu does that, there's still the chance there's still more of it's still more in favor of Wolverine winning the battle than it is Ryu, because there's still a big gap in their capabilities.
Yeah, and let's not remember the fact that the one of the few ways you can actually kill Wolverine is you have to pretty much disintegrate him. And
Literally on an atomic level, and
yeah,
I don't think Ryu has any weapon, and he has no capability that powerful.
yeah. So that's the other thing, like because when they actually showed him get killed in Days of Future Past, that's how Nimrod killed him. He disintegrated him. That's why the only thing was left was the adamantium skeleton because he pretty much burned every cell off of his skeleton, so he couldn't come back.
And
So
that's something that would be very difficult to do.
yeah, for Ryu anyway, for anybody in the Street Fighter universe.
Say yeah. I mean, you got the godlike characters that might be able to do it, but
yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see that happening. Now, if it was if we were talking about say let's say what's that guy's name? The guy who walked around in his drawers, that's red and blue.
Which one, Urian or Gil?
Gil. I can see Gil doing it. Urian, I can't see Urian doing it because I think he's more human.
I think he might be able to do it. I just don't think he's as strong as his brother.
Yeah.
Because he's like a metallic god-like character, and Wolverine probably tear through him too.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, you're right. But yeah, that's how I think the fight would go. Honestly, and that's not a knock to like because I can see the keyboard getting burned up by the Ryu fans. That's not a knock, but if you think if you really think I'm not being truthful, like I said, you can check out the Marvel Comics database. If you've seen any of the Fox animated series, if you read any of the comics, you know how damn near everybody in Marvel is afraid of Wolverine.
And they're worried about they worry about him for a reason. It's not like there's not reason to back that up.
Yeah, it's a very good reason that they are fearful. Hell, Xavier was fearful of him. That's why he kept his past private. That's why he never told him. Xavier knew because he read the minds of the generals that did it to him. He never told him because he knew what would happen if he found out. There was going to be blood and there was going to be a lot of death. The first thing body count is pretty high.
Yeah. The one thing to think about though is that Wolverine went toe to toe with the Incredible Hulk
on more than one occasion.
He hurt him.
Yeah.
I don't see Ryu ever doing that.
Matter of fact, adamantium was the only thing that could cut Hulk's skin.
Yeah, because it was one. Well, it's not the only thing, but it's one of the only things.
It's one because that before then, nothing had ever pierced him though.
No, because because you can think carbonadium might be able to do it if it's forged right, and I would think that Thor's sword could do it too, but that's also magically imbued, so that's a whole other kettle of beans.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. But adamantium is what they usually use to try and hurt a Hulk because their skin is so thick that nothing can really. The majority of stuff can't cut it, can't dent it, can't do anything to it. It's just like it bounces off. They don't even feel it.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that they made and it actually makes sense. But yeah, Wolverine just went toe to toe with the Hulk. Wolverine just went toe to toe with Apocalypse. And before anybody started hating, yes, I'm gonna have to do something on Apocalypse because a lot of people have this misconception that Apocalypse is like one of the weaker villains of the Marvel universe. He is not
powerful.
He is not, because I actually got into a discussion with someone who told me that Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet could take out Apocalypse. No, he can't. Not without that Infinity Gauntlet, he cannot. And there is a specific reason why. So I got to get all my stuff together so I can do that little discussion, because there's a very specific reason why Apocalypse is who he is and why. Let's put it to you like this right here. Dr. Doom won't mess with Apocalypse.
Nah, he avoids him. I mean, he'll mess with him, but he comes up with a scheme for it. He ain't gonna
But
just
he
go in
won't.
there willy nilly.
Let me put it to you like this: he won't go face to face with inside Noor.
Nah, he won't.
Not going face to face with him. I mean, that's just not something he's gonna do. So
Okay, I'll put it this way: he would pick a fight with Magneto before he would
yeah,
Apocalypse, and you know how powerful Magneto is.
yeah, and that's the thing. So, I plan on doing that one a little bit later. But you guys, let us know what you think in the comments, and please understand that, like I said, I'm gonna put some sources in the description so you guys can know where we're coming from with this before you start getting mad because that's your favorite character and your favorite character can beat everybody. Just understand that we actually did our research on this. Okay, understand it.
Like a lot of this is honestly common knowledge on these characters. They're popular enough that you shouldn't need research on
Yeah,
them.
you shouldn't need to, but yeah.
There's always that one person that thinks they know a lot about a character, and oh well, Deadpool and Wolverine only have healing factors. I'm like, you
No, they
must not have ever read a comic or watched a
yeah.
TV show, because if that's all they had, they would have never come out of the situations that they did the way they did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, no.
Yeah. So sometimes it's very important to not watch just the movies. You probably need to read some of the comics. I'm just throwing that out there.
Hell, even play the video games with some of these characters. They'll give you more information than these movies do.
Especially if you ever get a chance to, X-Men versus Street Fighter. Very good game. That's a game that needs to be remastered.
Remastered for today's audiences.
Yeah, because that game was awesome. X-Men versus Street Fighter was awesome. Matter of fact, that's why you got your Marvel versus Capcom because of that game. Actually,
Yeah, if it wasn't for Capcom reaching out to Marvel and getting that contract back then,
yep,
that was one of the first smart things that they did.
yep. X-Men versus Street Fighter. That game was awesome.
Well, actually, it wouldn't have happened if Capcom didn't make X-Men Children of the Atoms, which led to Akuma being in that, and that led to X-Men versus Street Fighter.
Yeah. So. Yeah, another one that needs to be re-released, Children of the Atom. But that's neither here nor there. So hope you guys enjoyed this little versus mode. I plan on we should do more of these.
Definitely got more of them done. I'm like, look, we've had so many that we wanted to do, and just time had not been ready for it.
Yeah, because being an adult sucks sometimes. But but hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. And if you guys have a suggestion of which ones you would like to see us do next, just let us know. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe, ring the bell, because for some reason YouTube, we got to do that now too. So just let us know, and we will see you guys on our next vid. All right. Peace.
Peace out.